The Idaho huntress, who's been getting a lot of backlash on Facebook, is defending her kills. Sabrina Corgatelli posted pictures of a dead giraffe, writing, "Day number 2, I got an amazing giraffe, such an amazing animal. I couldn't be any happier. My emotion after getting him was a feeling I will never forget." That post got more than 30,000 comments, many of them quite negative. But Corgatelli told the Today Show on NBC that everything she's doing in South Africa is perfectly legal.
Everybody just thinks we're cold-hearted killers, and it's not that. There is a, how do I want to describe it?
There's a connection.
There is a connection with the animal, and just because we hunt them doesn't mean we don't have a respect for them. But giraffes are very, very dangerous animals. They could hurt you seriously very quickly.
Joining me now via Skype, Animal Planet's large predator expert Dave Salmoni and psychologist Judy Ho. Dr. Judy, one thing that caught a lot of people's attention was the way in which Corgatelli was writing about the giraffe she killed, calling it amazing, and then saying that she couldn't be happier that she had killed it. One guy actually summed the whole thing up by tweeting, "Dear giraffe, I have so much respect and love for you that I had to kill you." Sabrina Corgatelli. Makes sense. Dr. Judy, take us into the mind of a hunter, of somebody who enjoys this practice, because it does seem like there's something a little bit off here.
Well, hunting is really one socially acceptable way of people trying to express a thrill, a type of recreational activity that brings them actually certain brain and biological changes. And so I think the problem is Sabrina has been saying a lot of different things online that seem contradictory. I think a lot of people do hunt, and they hunt for the hunt's sake. They do it because biologically they're fed by it. They get a rush of endorphins and they get adrenaline, and they're fed by that, and it actually piques their own self-esteem. The problem with Sabrina here is that she's been talking about respecting this animal so much that she had to kill it, then expressing that she loves this animal. Well, that's also another way that she feeds her self-esteem. She respects this animal so much, and then she takes it down. It makes her feel better about herself, and it's a way that she self-justifies something that seems a little bit inhumane.
So clearly there are some attributes that are underlying here. I want to bring in Dave. And Salmoni, I want to show you this video of the giant marlin that was caught just a few days back. But there's no outrage over this fish being pulled out of the ocean and killed. And I want to explore why it is that we as a people tend to not have a distaste for certain forms of hunting and certain killing, and why it seems that others outrage us. Is it because certain animals are endangered and others aren't? Is it because certain are cute and cuddly and others aren't? Or because we're hunting to eat or hunting for sport? Or is it the methodology where it's an inhumane killing, or just a killing that, you know, we say, oh, there's no pain for the animal? What goes into this?
I think you're absolutely right. You touched on the fact that because it's an ethical and a moral issue, there is a huge sort of array of how people are going to feel about it. I think that this particular case of Cecil and this trophy hunting, because the animal suffered, because there's no use for the meat, because the only real reason to kill this animal was to make myself feel like I'm big and tough and cool, then it's a bigger population who are outraged. But as you go, maybe if you move that down to deer hunting, where, you know, we as wildlife managers need people to help us control the populations, there's less outrage. And then you take a step down maybe into marlins, where, you know, maybe some people don't connect as well to fish as they do to other mammals because we're mammals. You're going to start to lose people's outrage because people have their own line which they will not cross. This isn't a black and white issue. It's a moral and ethical one.
Yeah, Dr. Judy, walk me through the social side of this, right? As a society, what is it that you feel like is a universal line that we can draw with respect to delineating between acceptable and unacceptable forms of this practice?
I think evolutionarily, people hunted because they needed the food they needed to survive. And so when it is not any issue of survival in any sake. I mean, at this point, when people are even, you know, going fishing, they necessarily don't even have to do that themselves, but still you can connect it to the fact that we eat the meat of the fish, and that in turn helps us with our survival.
But Dr. Judy, let's talk about the fact that in certain countries, dogs are considered food. People kill dogs for the meat and eat them. But I don't think that there's a lot of people around the world outside of those societies who would say, oh, well, it's okay on account of the fact that they're eating them.
That's right. So some of that's cultural. But, you know, in certain countries where they actually eat dogs for meat, the people in that country have less issue with that than the people who are looking in and saying that doesn't make sense. Dogs are cuddly animals that we associate with pets.
Right.
So in this case, this is a giraffe. We associate that with an animal that we go and see and spend time with and have fun with at the zoo. So when she describes it as a dangerous animal, that again is just a way for her to make it okay for herself to feel this animal. It justifies her behavior.